think we took another step forward tonight. Still, obviously have a long way to go, but I thought we had a good competitive effort out there. Carolina's a good football team. They got a lot of good players, so it was good to compete against them and the schemes that they run. So, got another week here. Giants, this will be a good opportunity for us to continue to make some progress and be ready to go here in a couple of weeks. But I think we're moving along. So it's good to go out there and have a good competitive night here at home.
Raise your hand if you have any questions, guys.
Bill, what went into the decision not to play Brian Hoyer tonight and to give all the second team and beyond snaps to Jarrett Stidham at quarterback?
Yeah, we do what we think's best for the team. Take a look at everybody. Brian's played a lot of football.
Gunner, and the way he handled the ball on punt returns and kickoff returns. What were your thoughts on him?
Yeah, we'll take a look at it on film. Gunner's an aggressive kid. He's done a nice job of handling his roles in the kicking game and offensively. So, he's a very competitive kid.
Coach, was the decision not to play Patrick Chung tonight health related, or did it have something to do with today's news?
Yeah, Pat hasn't played the whole preseason.
Bill, do you have an update on Brandon King's condition?
No.
Bill?
Along those lines, when you see so many guys go out with various levels of injuries tonight, does it change the way you think about these preseason games? Do you wish you could just get to the regular season and have everyone healthy?
Well, we never want to see anyone get injured. Of course not.
Does it make you want to reconsider how much you use guys in these preseason games?
I think we have to do what's best for the team. We have to prepare our team to play.
The first time we've had a chance to talk to you since Jake Bailey sort of become the primary punter. How did it reach the point where it was time to make that decision? Was it cumulative that led to Ryan being released?
Yeah, I think we felt it was time to make a decision, so we made it.
And what has Jake shown you since you've had him?
He's done some different things for us, and he's shown. I feel like he's got was the better punter, and he also kicks off and he holds. So see how it goes.
Bill, what was your reaction today when you heard the news that Pat Chung was facing a felony indictment in New Hampshire?
Yeah, I think we released a statement on that.
Bill, what did you think of Ryan Izzo today?
Yeah, look, I can't keep track of every player out there, so we'll go back and look at the film. I think everybody's competing, everybody's getting better. Ryan's certainly done that. He's had a much more opportunity to play this year because of his health, his good health. So we'll just evaluate him along with everybody else.
How about the performance of your defense as a whole, especially the starters, the way they got after Cam Newton? What were your thoughts overall?
I thought we played competitively. We still have a lot of things to work on. There's a lot of things we can improve on. So we'll just go back to work this week and just keep grinding away. I think we got a long way to go. We're making progress.
Any other questions, guys?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, Mike.
How are you, Tom?
Good. How you doing?
You like the hat?
Thank you.
Is that a Cam Newton?
So, what do you think?
Of course, Reese likes it. You got the first picture coming.
Yeah. Well, you weren't standing out there. You weren't.
You had that one at the Derby, right?
Different one.
That was different.
Different one.
Cam Newton special?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got similar style.
you go.
He wears it a little better.
There you go. Of all the plays tonight, the one I wanted to ask you was at the start of the second quarter, 3rd and 3, and your Madden speed rating, obviously, showing up there with the 3-yard run. Take us through that play, if you will.
Yeah, they played it was zone defense and tried to work underneath pass there to Jacoby, and there was not much space. So I usually don't get too many yards. So 3rd and short, I can usually make a couple of those. But if I can make one of those a game, I think that'd be good for our team. They're going to do that. But there's a lot to do. I mean, I think that was, there was a lot of good things. There's obviously a lot of things that we need to do to clean up. A lot of long yardage situations, too many penalties. Yeah, we got to get back to work.
Tom, I was gonna say your overall thoughts on the offense, especially some of the younger receivers kind of stepping in to that role. What are your thoughts on them overall tonight?
Yeah, we've got, I think those guys are all working really hard. They played a lot of football this preseason. They really haven't had many veteran guys out there to show them the way. So they've just been kind of learning on the fly, but proud of the way they competed. And, we're just going to keep working together. And we got one more game to go. And then we'll see what happens after that.
Tom, was that skinny post to Jacoby on 3rd down? Is that kind of like a learning process type of thing for him?
Yeah, he had. There's. I think for all of us, you play with guys that are maybe new to the offense and so forth, and sometimes, they think they're not part of the route, and then the team plays a certain coverage and they're part of the route, and that's part of early in the season. That's part of this time of year. We don't have the full week to prepare. We don't have we're kind of putting things together on the fly. So those are learning moments for all of us. And again, I think the most important part is to get in there, get to work, see what you need to do, see how you feel out there, real live action, and then get back to work as quickly as you can. Try to make some improvements.
Hey, Tom, I know the first 2 games you were really itching to get out there and say you finally got some action, but does your mentality change at all when you see some of your teammates go down with injuries today? What's that like, seeing guys get hurt in kind of a meaningless game,
Yeah, it's always hard to see, and we've had our fair share over, a lot of years of watching, these games, being a part of these games, guys that, you think are going to be, play a big role over the course of the year, and then it, in one play, it doesn't happen that way. So it happens in the regular season too. I mean, I think this is a contact sport, and it's a physical sport, and injuries are certainly a part of the game. And other guys are gonna have to step in and fill big roles. Hi, Karen.
Nice hat.
Thank you.
You seem to find Philip Dorsett quite a bit.
Yeah.
Was a lot of that a matter of familiarity, or him getting open?
Yeah, I think both, and I think that it's, Philip is a guy that I play a lot of football with, so I have a lot of trust in. Again, when you don't have the full, experience is a great thing in football if you use it well, and I think our experience together, pays off. I read his body language. I think the great thing about Phil, he takes advantage of his opportunities, and a lot of guys have been injured this preseason. Phil plays all 3 wide receiver positions. Remembers all the coaching points from all the times we've talked about certain things, even though he may not have done it. He goes in there and does it the way that coach wants it done. So I love playing with Phil. He's been a great contributor to our team, and he had a great night.
The Eric Reed hit on Ben Watson. Not too long ago, Rob Gronkowski received a 1-game suspension on a similar play and a hit on a play on the ground. Do you think Eric Reed should face a similar punishment for the hit tonight?
I didn't even see the play, so yeah.
What was the velocity on that throw that you delivered to Ryan Izzo? That had to be close to 60.
I have a heat on that. It's nice when you can be decisive and make a good decisive throw. So for me, anticipation and decisiveness are so important. That comes from experience and trust. So when guys are in those spots, you feel like you can cut it loose because, you have all the decisiveness to do that. So that was a good throw, and I got to make a lot of those this year. And, that's what I've been working hard to do, and the team expects me to make all the throws that are there. So that was a good play. Ryan made a great catch.
Tom, you got to play behind Isaiah Wynn a little bit
Yep.
tonight. What have you seen as he's come back, and do you have trust or faith? What do you think that he can protect your left side there?
Yeah, I think he's taking advantage of his opportunity, and, I think everyone expects him to be a high performer for our team. And he's getting opportunities, and he's got to take advantage of them. So, nobody's out there playing perfect tonight, but I'm sure, we've all got a long way to go. He does, I do, but we got to get out there and practice and get, a lot of guys back in there and find some rhythm.
Tom, I'm a reporter from Denmark. I know you weren't on the field with Hjalte Froholt tonight, but throughout the preseason and throughout camp, can you talk about what you've seen from Hjalte and how he's gelled with the team?
Absolutely. He's done a great job, and, they're really well coached, that whole group of offensive linemen. Dante's he's a very demanding coach. He's not, I would say, the easiest coach to play for, but Hjalte's done a great job. And, he's fighting and competing every day. He's been out there, tough, durable, and, he's played a little center, played a little guard, and he's done a good job.
Tom, just to finish with the run we started with,
Yep.
I know you've talked in the past about just the footwork and keeping plays alive. Like, how important is it for you just in your first game action to just show that that's still there for you, going into another season?
Yeah, it's got to be, and I think those are important plays. So to get a first down conversion on me scrambling, I'm sure the defense coordinator is like, what the heck? This is not. We got to stop Edelman. We got to stop White. We got to stop the run game. We got to stop, these great players. And all of a sudden, Brady for a scramble. That's got to piss him off pretty good. So I revel in that. And hopefully I can do that, once a game. I think I'd be good with that. And if they give me an opportunity, I'll take it. It's just, I don't think it'd be much more than 4 or 5 yards. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I don't have one. I'm like all you guys will. See what happens.
Hey, Devin, I just talk about the defense today. Got to be happy with this rush through 3 games. They've been bringing a lot of heat there.
Yeah, it was great. I think today we talked about getting off to a good start against a team that was kind of very high-powered on offense. You talk about Cam Newton, McCaffrey, Samuels, all those guys, Olsen, very tough to stop once they get going. So I thought we did a good job of first stopping the run and then getting a few good rushes in there to mix it up. So we got a lot of players out there that have played good football, either here or other places. So it felt good for all of us to get out there and start to put it together.
Devin, can you ever think of an instance, preseason or not, where you held the opposing offense to not crossing midfield, at least for the first half, or tonight the entire time you're on the field?
We might have. I'm not sure.
Right. Did you? You guys did that tonight. Has that ever had that sort of kind of dominance through half for your group at any level?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. Might have it all kind of scrambles together. But I think that we took the right mentality. I think one thing, though, we talked about that, the one thing we want to improve is getting turnovers. That's something that we know we need to do during the season to just make it easier on ourselves. So one thing walking away, even though it was a good first half and really overall a good game defensively, just trying to take the ball away would be a big difference for us on defense.
Devin, you've been around the game for a long time now, and the way they're calling pass interference and these potential challenges, this year, as you've seen a couple in preseason where you see it, and maybe you look on a jumbotron like, oh yeah, that's going to get overturned. Then they don't overturn it. Do you guys have any definitive direction as to how this thing's going to go, or is it kind of cross your fingers and hope you play it the right way?
Yeah, not really. I mean, so far I've liked that they're not trying to watch it in slow motion and call like if your pinky touches the receiver a second early, I mean, we all know when things are in slow motion, it just looks totally different. So, you know, we got two today, from looking at it, looked like two good defensive plays, and it stood. So, hopefully, but I think that's one of those rules that you're going to have to kind of see how it goes, really game by game. Just seeing some of them throughout the league in the preseason so far, I've thought was obvious and has been, changed or over. So I feel like you never know, probably from week to week.
Can I just do a follow-up on that real quick? Just, they meet with you as referees to start preseason, like these are the changes, whether it's illegal contact or hands to the face, we're going to sort of emphasize that. They can do a good job giving you guys examples of what we're looking for, what we're not looking for.
I'm never a fan of those meetings. I feel like they go however we ask the question, and then once we get in the season, like you might as well throw that whole meeting away. So Bill always says it the best. Week by week, we have to go how the game's being called, and we have to adjust to it.
Devin, in your experience, is it players' performance in preseason games or their consistent performance in practice that earns them roster spots and increased roles once it's cut down day?
Yeah, it's all that. From my time being here, it's practice. Then we've gone on the road 2 weeks in a row. You get some joint practices in there, then the games. Overall, I think as a player, you just have to keep getting better, keep improving. Each guy will be in different situations, but I think, Bill even told us this week, like overall, each guy on the roster has to improve, day by day, week by week, game by game. You have to improve. And I think, it's a tough time for everybody. Coaches are trying to evaluate everybody. I just try to tell all the young guys at the end of the day, just try to play your best football. Have fun out there. Do that, and I think you can feel good, leaving the situation. But it's every day, You can't just focus on the games because then you don't get better in practice or your game. So I think it's day by day, just taking whatever that is. If it's a practice, if it's a walkthrough, just doing whatever you can to show the coaches that you know what you're doing and that you're going to play hard.
Devin, your impression of Terrence Brooks, who looks like he played some of Chung's star role tonight. We've seen him play deep safety. He's been known as a special teamer before he got here. What's your impression of him as a defensive player so far?
Just a veteran guy that's come in and tried to learn everything. I think for him, in the spring, he's gotten a chance to be out there with numerous guys. So each time he's in with a different guy, he has to play a different role. And I think that's giving him the opportunity to be kind of well-balanced and well-versed in multiple roles in our defense. And you guys know we have, guys like my brother that plays in the box sometimes, he plays corner, plays nickel. So the more guys can do, and I think T. Brooks has definitely fit that role. And I think being a special teams player probably helps. He's able to do a bunch of different things. He knows a lot of roles on special teams as well. So I thought he's done a good job during camp, just for one, being a veteran, bringing that type of leadership, and then being able to be versatile.
Devin, through training camp, the joint practices, the first 2 weeks, and then tonight, are you getting a feeling more and more of how special this defense can be if you guys are all playing well and communicating together?
Yeah, but I'm probably the bad guy to ask. I feel like that every year. But I think, like I said earlier, we got a lot of good players there, and it's about putting it together. And I think one of the best things going away for 2 weeks is you get to spend a lot of time together, in a hotel, after meetings, eating, hanging out. So I think, as a group, the better you know somebody, the better your relationship is. I think you put more pressure on yourself to be accountable to that person, to know your stuff, to play for that person. So I think we've been really building as a defense and as a team overall. So it feels good when you put in all the work during the week and you come out and have a good performance. So, but as you know, in this league, it's a week-by-week thing that you got to kind of put that work in each week to have those results that you want.
Devin, many of you haven't participated in a game so far. Today was the first. It was pretty physical out there. Did you feel that way? It felt like a regular season game out there.
Yeah, and we knew that. This is probably the fourth or fifth time we've played against Carolina since I've been there in the preseason. And then you count the regular season, they're a physical football team. Downhill, they want to run. Offensive linemen, big guys. So we knew that was the type of game it was going to be. And I think those are always good challenges. Last week going to Tennessee, there's, downhill wants to run the ball team, 2 tight ends. So we got a little bit of that here tonight. And, I think that's a good challenge for us to try to play different teams and different styles. And I think that helps us prepare for the regular season. Appreciate it.
Bye.